You tell a small lie today. Maybe you already have. You say you're fine when you're not. You say you love the gift when you don't. It feels smooth. It feels easy. But somewhere on your face, for exactly 1/25th of a second, the truth already escaped. You didn't feel it happen. Nobody around you consciously caught it, but the real answer is far stranger than simply getting away with it. Your face is not one system, it is two. One system is voluntary. You control it the way you control your hand. You can smile and command. You can frown for a photo. This is the face you perform. The other system is ancient. It runs on circuits buried deep in your brainstem, wired straight to your emotions, and it does not ask your permission. This is the face that leaks. In the 1960s, a young researcher named Paul Ekman started filming psychiatric patients. He wanted to know if emotion looked the same on every human face, in every culture, everywhere on Earth. He traveled to Papua New Guinea, to a tribe with almost no contact with the outside world, and showed them photographs of faces. Fear looked like fear. Disgust looked like disgust. Anger looked like anger. There was no learning curve. There was no translation needed. Why would that be true across cultures that never spoke to each other? Because it isn't cultural at all. It's older than culture. It's older than language. Your facial expressions are not something you were taught. They are something you inherited, hard-coded from ancestors who needed their faces to broadcast danger before words existed to describe it. Think about that for a second. Before humans could say, there is a predator, a raised brow and a widened eye already said it for them. Before anyone could say, I am not a threat, a specific set of muscles around the eyes already proved it. Your face was a survival tool, millions of years before it became a social one. And here is where it gets strange. Ekman went back to those old psychiatric films, frame by frame, and found something nobody had noticed before. Buried inside long stretches of a calm, composed expression, a full and complete emotional signal would flash across the face and vanish in less than half a second. He called it a micro-expression. It wasn't a hint of an emotion. It was the entire emotion, compressed, uncensored, and gone before the conscious mind could stop it. One of the patients he studied later admitted she had been planning to take her own life that day, and had smiled convincingly through the entire interview to be released from the hospital. When Ekman slowed the footage down, one single frame showed a flash of pure anguish, hidden inside a smile that otherwise looked completely real. That single frame changed the direction of his career and arguably changed how psychology understands deception. Here's the part that should unsettle you a little. You have almost no control over this. Your voluntary face can lie beautifully. Your involuntary face cannot. And the two are almost never perfectly in sync. There's a specific and famous example of this mismatch, and it lives in your own smile. A 19th century French neurologist named Guillaume Duchenne studied the muscles of the human face using electrical stimulation, decades before photography could even properly capture motion. He discovered that a genuine smile of real joy activates two separate muscles at once. One pulls the corners of your mouth upward. That one you can fake any time. The other tightens the muscles around your eyes, pulling them into the creases people call crow's feet. That one, almost nobody can trigger on command. A fake smile uses your mouth. A real smile uses your eyes. Duchenne wrote that this second muscle only obeys the sweet emotions of the soul. He couldn't have known it then, but he had found one of the first hard, physical, dividing lines between the face you choose to show and the face your emotions choose for you. So why does any of this matter to you? Scrolling through videos, living your ordinary life, telling your ordinary small lies, because your brain is still running the old software. When you lie, even a harmless one, your nervous system briefly treats it like a threat. Not a moral threat, a survival one. For your ancestors, being caught in deception by the group could mean exile, and exile from the group could mean death. There was no safety outside it, so your body still reacts to a lie the same way it reacts to danger, with a flicker of adrenaline, a subtle spike in effort, and a facial system trying to suppress a truth it was never designed to hide. Modern research has tried to measure exactly how much of this leaks through. A psychologist named Leanne Ten-Breinke, working out of Berkeley, ran studies asking whether people could consciously spot liars just by watching their faces. The results were humbling. Most people performed barely better than chance. Sometimes worse, because they were watching the wrong system. They were watching the voluntary face, the one built for performance, instead of the flickers underneath it. But here's the twist inside the twist. Even though people couldn't consciously detect these signals, their bodies still responded to them. In some of 10 Brinka's work, participants showed subtle behavioral and even implicit changes when exposed to deceptive faces, despite reporting no awareness that anything was wrong. Some part of the ancient system was still listening, even when the conscious mind wasn't. You have likely felt this yourself. A conversation where nothing seemed wrong on the surface, and yet something in your gut told you not to trust it? You couldn't explain why. You just knew. That feeling is not intuition in some mystical sense. It's pattern recognition running underneath conscious thought, built from millions of years of faces that needed to be read correctly or else. Here's the reframe that changes how you should think about your own face right now. You are not one honest system pretending to be one dishonest one. You are two systems, layered on top of each other, one ancient and involuntary, one modern and controlled, constantly negotiating in real time over what gets shown. Every conversation you have today, your face is running both programs simultaneously. Most of the time they agree. Sometimes, for a fraction of a second, they don't. And in that fraction of a second, whether anyone consciously notices or not, the truth gets out. Think about the last time you said, "I'm fine," to someone who loves you. Somewhere in that half second, your ancient face may have already told them otherwise. Maybe they felt it without knowing why. Maybe that unexplainable gut feeling they had about you wasn't confusion at all. Maybe it was your ancestors, still working, still broadcasting, exactly the way they always have. So the next time you tell a small lie today, and you probably will, remember this: it will feel smooth, it will feel easy. But somewhere on your face, for exactly 1/25th of a second, the truth will already have escaped.